Hello, friends, and welcome to We've Got Books. This is Anne Green saying hello from North Texas, the Lone Star State where longhorn cattle chew their cud with contentment. Winter is short and mild. Rodeos are popular, and cowgirls lasso their favorite cowboys. My colleagues, Lana Newman-Cruzy, James Yarborough, and I are happy you joined us.
Hi, I'm Lana Newman-Cruzy.
And hello, I'm James Yarborough.
Here at We've Got Books, we discuss great Christian fiction. We cover a variety of genres to tickle your imagination. We'll sit around the table and feature guest authors and their books, along with our own books. You'll become acquainted with real authors and learn why we write and how we create unforgettable stories. And now, James Yarborough is standing by to interview well-known prolific author Ane Mulligan and her books. So grab your favorite drink and enjoy this rousing ride into the literary world. Take it away, Jim.
Well, thank you, Anne, and welcome, Annie.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe we could start by you telling the listeners a little about yourself.
Well, I live life from a director's chair in both community theater and at my desk creating novels. You see, I caught stage fever at age 5 when I saw Peter Pan on stage, and I never recovered. I've always loved story. I was a voracious reader since I could first hold a book in my lap. My mother encouraged reading, and I would I loved getting lost in a story, always putting myself into the main character's place. I solved mysteries with Nancy Drew and Trixie Belden, and definitely I wanted to be Jo March. However, I'm not like most writers who knew they wanted to write from their young age. You see, I was ADHD decades before they knew what that was. And because of it, school was difficult for me. Anything that represented schoolwork, and writing did, I didn't want anything to do with it.
Well, that's a very, very creative upbringing, and ADHD. Interesting that you had that background too. So what happened?
Well, still had all the stories in my head, so I played them out with my dolls. I remember each story took weeks before it ended, and then I'd begin a new one. I remember one story took place in my mother's laugh house, not a greenhouse that's glassed in, but it was made of laughing strips, sides and top. We lived in Southern California and near the beach, so the mild weather made that laugh house a tropical paradise. Mama made miniature mounds and hills and planted them with ferns and flowers. So it was like a miniature Africa or South America. I made up wonderful stories there long before Indiana Jones. And I loved to tell stories too. I tell them to my dolls, my pets, and anyone who listened. I got sent to the principal's office a lot when I was a kid. They called it lying, but I wasn't. I was telling a story. I never could understand why they couldn't see it. I suppose it all had to do with POV. They were all in first person.
You must have been a fun person to be around as a little girl. So how long have you been writing, Annie?
I really started writing in 1995. I began writing scripts for my pastor to use as sermon starters. On a whim, I sent one to Lifeway, and they published it. And after that, they asked me for every one they wrote. They had a drama magazine that they published short scripts. It was very big in the drama in the church world back then. Kind of wish they'd bring it back. But I always believed in the power of drama and fiction to reach hearts. People let down their guard when they think they're being entertained. Drama and fiction use our emotions and our senses and draw us in. Then, when we least expect it, the story touches, teaches, and it transforms us. And that's why I write.
Well, Jesus used stories a lot too, parables too. Very effective way to teach. What sort of Christian fiction do you write, Annie?
I write women's fiction, both contemporary and historical. In all my books, you'll find some humor and an ensemble cast of strong Southern women, friends or sisters, who help each other through the story. You see,
Well,
I've always had a group of women friends, girls when I was young, and we understood each other the same way writers understand other writers. To me, there's nothing more fun than a girl's road trip. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my husband, but his idea of well, let me give you an example. When we first moved to Georgia, I wanted to see all the romantic places like Savannah, Charleston, and so we decided to take a weekend trip. He chose St. Simon's Island. But instead of touring the island to see the houses and history, we sat on a concrete pier while he and our son fished. The next time I heard about a friend who needed to go to Savannah, but her husband didn't want to, I volunteered on the spot. We had a great time. I got to do all the things that we women like to do and write a little and help a little romance get thrown in.
great story. But are you saying you really don't like to fish, Annie?
I do if I'm going on a fishing trip. But, you know,
Yeah, that's right.
I,
First things
I was,
first, though.
yeah,
Yeah, see the historic sites. Yeah. Well, women helping women is quite a popular topic. My wife Susan gets away with the ladies as often as she can too, so I can relate to that.
yeah.
Which of your books are we discussing today?
We're talking about a new one, Up Level Creek, and I'm pretty excited about it. It comes out midsummer, and it's about a girl who's a swashbuckling dreamer. She wields books instead of swords, and he, the hero, is a no nonsense lawman who brandishes a badge for justice. They're total opposites with one goal in mind: to clear her name. And Christy has always lived on Sugar Hill. She runs a tailspin bookshop with her aunt. With all the hard economic times of the Great Depression, Christie's days are filled with work and serving in soup lines while she dreams of visiting Paris and Rome. Then a book and a decision propel her to places she never dreamed of going. Will Slocum has lived in Sugar Hill all his life. He didn't have much time for girls when he and Christy were in school, but now he's achieved his law enforcement dreams, and with his eyes set on her, until a book and a decision cross the line between love and duty.
Well, that mystery sounds intriguing and it's well developed as well. Would you mind reading us an excerpt from Up Level Creek?
I would love to. It's September 1930. There's a storm brewing, a nasty one, judging by the black clouds and high humidity. I dab my hanky against the back of my neck and glance at the long snake of men waiting for a meal. Just yesterday, my best friend Bernie said that New York stock market crash finally filtered down to Georgia. She must be right. Today, there's more men than usual. Where do they all come from? There can't be more than 40 shanties down in Hooverville, down by the Chattahoochee River. Yet somehow hobos know if there's a soup line or a day job somewhere. Ladle full and poised to pour, I peer into the eyes of one such man. Once proud, he stands slump-shouldered before me, hopelessness in his gaze, like Eeyore in Winnie the Pooh. That's why I do this, to offer a tiny ray of hope. I empty the soup into his bowl and glance at the clouds. We'll see rain by nightfall, the trailings of that hurricane in the Gulf. Yes, ma'am. Did you hear of any work, ma'am? I'll do anything. Riding the rails in search of jobs is a story of so many men lately. While their situation breaks my heart, I've already hired one such man today to sweep the bookshop. I can't afford another. The Bone Allen Tannery in Buford has day work. I dip my ladle back into the pot. I don't know about full-time jobs. See Mr. Teague at the last table. I point toward the picnic area. He's over yonder, the one wearing a tan fedora. He's here for that very reason. I'm rewarded with a speck of hope sparking behind his eyes. Thank you, ma'am. He moves on, and I pour soup into yet another bowl. Dip and pour, dip and pour, dip and pour. In the distance, the Atlanta West Point Railroad engine whistle blows. How I wish I could escape my mundane life and go somewhere exotic, somewhere I read about in books. Paris, Barcelona, Rome. Oh, Grandma's bloomers, I'd settle for Niagara Falls even. Sighing, I once again dip and pour. Finally, by 11:45, the end of the line is only a half a block away. Wait. My gaze pauses on familiarity. Will Slocum. My stomach twists like a tornado. I fell in love with him when we were in high school, and I thought he loved me too. But when he graduated, he left town and me. I heard he was back, but he's never come around. He's forgotten all about me. Why haven't I forgotten about him? Better yet, why is he in line? He has a job and a good one. I hear he's a county deputy sheriff like he always wanted to be. I sneak another peek at him. He's out of uniform, wearing a worn-out shirt and dirty denim overalls. Did he lose his job? Keeping one eye on Will and a firm eye on my heart, I scoop vegetable soup into the next man's bowl. The stranger dips his chin. Thank you kindly, ma'am, and he moves down the line for a chunk of bread. When Will stands before me, our eyes meet. I find it hard to tear my gaze away. I'm lost in the depth of his gorgeous golden brown peepers, just like I used to be. This is not good. He peers at me and his brow furrows. Finally, recognition brightens his eyes. Christy? He glances around and lowers his voice to a whisper. Still at the bookshop? All I can manage is a nod. I'll come by. I open my mouth to ask him why, but a small shake of his head and a wink stops my words. Oh, my word, he's in disguise. I fill the ladle, giving myself a mental shake. Handsome or not, he left me without a word once. He'll do it again. I empty soup into his bowl and strive for nonchalance. Here you go, sir. Eat hearty.
Well, Annie, your excerpt has sucked me in. I'll have to buy Up Level Creek. I enjoy reading about that Depression era. Both my parents lived through that era, so
Yeah.
I've heard it indirectly for sure. So tell us about these characters, if you will.
Oh, well, Christy lives with her absent-minded Aunt Nell and a Scotty dog she found abandoned. She took him in and named him Barkus. Christy and her gal pals have a book club that meets in the Tailspin bookshop. One of those friends is Jeanette, a teacher who names inanimate objects, much to the delight of her students. Another, Addie Fairbanks, is a nurse, and she's the daughter of Doc Fairbanks. Bernie, short for Bernice, is a homemaker. Another homemaker is Edith, who is a hopeless matchmaker. These gal pals are loyal friends, and Christy will need them when she and her aunt get evicted from the bookshop by their mean-spirited landlady. While they own the contents of the shop, they do not own the building. And after eviction, there's no place for them. None of her friends have room, so they end up in Hooverville. There you'll meet Ivy Jones, a time-worn woman who extends friendship and mentors Christy in the art of survival. And you'll also meet Daisy Moss, niece of Christy's landlady, and her adorable son, Alvin. All of my books are populated by several people, sometimes dozens, and I have to keep a spreadsheet on them all because even the town becomes a character in my books.
That's impressive. I mean, they sound like very well-developed characters, too. You meet a lot of people in Up from Level Creek. Small towns filled with interesting, quirky characters. That's an interesting that's an interesting picture. Sounds like a winning book. What's Up Level Creek's takeaway, would you say?
The takeaway on this, it probably has the strongest spiritual theme of all my books. Christy has to learn to be content, and it's a hard lesson. During the Depression, people didn't have a lot to begin with. That was true in Georgia, especially after all the years of the Civil War, and then the boll weevil wreaked havoc on all the crops. She inherits her father's bookshop, but she has to learn to be content. And that's a lesson we all need to learn.
There is a lot to learn from the Great Depression. People had hard lessons to learn on how to make do and survive. They also had to learn how to lean on the Lord more. Do you have a favorite Bible verse, Annie?
Oh, I do. It's Philippians 1:6. And I am certain that God, who began a good work within you or me, will continue his work until it's finally finished on the day Christ Jesus returns. And that's from the New Living Translation.
That's a great one. That's a great
I love
one.
it.
Where can we find your book, Annie?
On Amazon and select bookstores.
And do you have a newsletter or a website?
I do. I have both. I publish my newsletter quarterly, and my website is anemulligan.com.
Okay, and your first name is spelled A-N-E, right? So it's
Yes, it is.
ANEMULLIGAN.com. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Anne Green here again.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Annie and Jim. Annie, we've enjoyed learning about you and one of your exciting women's fiction novels with its strong Southern women characters. Listeners, remember the name Ane Mulligan's novel is Up Level Creek. Once again, our time has sped by, so we must say goodbye from deep in the heart of Texas. We do hope you enjoyed your time with us as much as we enjoyed having you. Join us next week when we spotlight multi-published, multi-award-winning Christian author, me, Anne Green. You won't want to miss hearing about Eve Malloy in 1850, California, and her efforts to find suitable mail-order husbands for girls too old to remain in the Hibernia orphanage. The book's title is An Undaunted Matchmaker. And don't forget to browse through our other podcasts on BuzzSpot and enjoy some of our other interviews with different authors. We have something for everyone. This is Anne Green, along with Lana Newman-Cruzy and James Yarborough, saying goodbye for now, and read a good book for stimulating your brain cells, for entertainment, and for your continued good health. And we hope you'll choose a book you learned about on one of our podcasts. See you next time.